just really goes to show you that there are important questions that one has to ask. And if something is important to you, don't fail to ask it, because it could be the saving grace in your relationship. That way something doesn't pop up later on. Hey fam, it's Sarah here. Welcome back to our channel. It's been a minute since I did a sit down video for you guys. Today's gonna be a juicy one. I'm not even gonna waste any time. I'm gonna just jump right in it, right? This video is gonna be a little bit different because I'm gonna be talking to you about something, and then I'm also gonna be answering questions as I'm going along to kind of let you guys know where my head is at, where my perception and my take is on the whole situation itself. So grab your popcorn, because I don't know how long this video is going to be. Grab some tea, grab something, you know, and just enjoy my company for this short period of time. For the record, yes, I know I'm back in braids again, but I'm back at the gym and stuff, and it's just so much more convenient. So that's what's up. But while I was braiding my hair, I ended up watching this show. As of late, I started watching this show, and it's called Love is Blind, right? And it's starred by Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey, and they they're the hosts of the show. What the show is about is these people who are dating blindly. They are not, there's basically a side for men or a side for women, and they kind of date through a wall or through a screen. They can communicate and hear each other, but they cannot see each other. So this show had me hooked. Like, I've watched, I don't know, for some reason I just love watching a lot of dating shows, and I was just captivated by how these people were building connections really, really quickly. The whole point is you're going to come out of it engaged without seeing each other. So this is really called blind love for real, because you're really just basing it off of the connection that you've made with the person, and that's it. And let me just tell you, the show is super interesting because people were falling in love apparently in 3 days, and I'm proposing to people in 3 days. Okay. I know, it's like a bit of a shocker. I can't say that if it were me, I would be thrilled to do that, because I do feel like attraction does play a big role too in the situation. But overall, everyone was pleasantly pleased. Now, the reason why I'm talking on this is because on the show, there is an actual interracial couple that is featured on there. Cameron is the guy's name and Lauren is the girl. And they connected, and honestly, they're my favorite couple on there so far. For her, there was like it's a whole new world, okay? This black woman has only dated black men, so she's never been with a white guy, and she's also very, very like pro-black, and it's just different. So like him being Caucasian and her falling in love with him being a white guy, it seems like it's a very, very big deal. She was talking about the many challenges that she felt like she would have to face, as well as just like even her family and her friends accepting this new guy who is now her fiance, given the fact that she has, like I said, is very pro-black and has never dated a guy outside of her race. But my thing is, okay, so you're going on this dating show and you know that you are just gonna find love in the dark. You're not literally gonna know, you're not gonna see any of these people, you're not gonna know what they look like. I would think she was going there with an open mind, and I'm not saying she's not an open-minded person, but if you're there and you know that you can fall in love, you have the potential to fall in love with anyone, any race, any nationality, doesn't really matter. Is it really that big of a deal? Like, is the whole interracial thing that big of a deal? That's my take on that. Now, from her perspective, I guess I could see where it is it's a big deal, because her friends and family are not expecting it. And from what was said on the show, her dad expected her to marry within her own race, you know, like in support of black love and all that stuff. But is that really a thing? Like, is that really a thing to seek out? I'm all for black love, but I'm also just for love. Like, you find love in a package and this is what it is. Why don't we embrace it? Why does it have to be such a big deal? And it was made into a big deal. I remember her dad even asking a question on the show, like, have you ever been in a room full of black people? And I just thought to myself, my dad did not ask Aaron that question. Like, that's just so weird. It's so irrelevant. Like, but then again, I'm not, you know, I'm black, but I'm not black American. And I understand, I don't, like I've mentioned before, I do not want to be ignorant to the stereotypes and the stigmas Black Americans face, especially with all the things that do happen. So I can totally kind of understand where they're coming from, but in my mind I'm like, why does it even matter? Just ask if you're in a room full of Black people. I feel like if two people find love, that is so great, that is so strong, because honestly, and Cameron, like, you can see their love for each other. Like, they have intense love for each other for a couple who just met, and they literally have, I think, 30 days of getting to know each other fully, and then they get married at the end. They genuinely look like they love each other, and there's so much love and so much passion, and I just don't understand why, like, everything else, this whole big race thing, like, if he sees you for who you are and you see him for who he is, why is it made into such a big deal? But I do understand where she's coming from, because she said she's very pro-Black and she's very loud about it. And I guess in her case, you definitely want to ensure that your partner's not going to feel some type of way with you being that way. So that's something that they can talk about. But outside of them talking about that personally, I don't really understand, like, the big deal surrounding interracial, like the whole interracial relationship, especially if it's just love. And those who know and love you should very much be more accepting of you and be supportive of you, given the fact that you found love and this is what everyone wants for you. And so that leads me to the next question, in just like wondering if we are overthinking things a little bit. And I kind of partially already answered that, just because I think it's important to give it thought. And I think overthinking it really kind of comes down to you as a person. I think this whole individual, it's an individual thing. I don't think it applies to all. Like, if you're a person who don't really see color, and I mean, like, you're like, I just love who loves me, and I want to build a good connection. I want someone who loves me and values me, and that's all you care about. You don't care about the race part. Why overthink it in that situation? If it's really just about family and friends and what they think of it outside of that, that's another thing, because I know it's touchy. I don't have much experience in this side, because my family were super accepting. Aaron's family were super accepting, so we never dealt with any of that because our families are very open. But I guess I can't quite imagine what it's like when your family don't exactly approve, and when they don't see eye to eye with you on, like, your dating choices, or they don't like your partner choice. I feel like if you're a person who is like, I know what I love, I know who I love, and that's just it, and whatever comes up as it's coming, we're just gonna fight it. We're just gonna fight it. It's not gonna matter what color they are. They could be pink, black, blue, yellow, it doesn't matter. Whatever comes our way, we're just gonna fight it. To me, that's like the ideal way to tackle it and deal with it. But if you're like very, like, kind of rigid, or you're like, you get thrown off track really quickly and you don't know how to handle situations, I guess maybe it's important to think it through first. Think about stuff to see if you feel like you have the energy, the strength, the capability of handling that stuff, if you're just capable of handling the situations that may come about. In Lauren's case, I feel like she's such a strong Black woman. Like, seriously, she seems so strong, so sophisticated, so intelligent. I don't see the big deal. Now, her main problems obviously surround her family and friends, and at the same time, I know when it comes to family, that is definitely important. You want to have their support. And I would say friends too, but at the same time, my friends don't get to choose who I date. That's just, like, so silly. Like, so I'm not gonna fret and lose sleep over that. But I can understand where they're coming from. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I watch, I feel like I experience two different emotions when I'm watching Lauren and Cameron. Like, one minute I'm just like, oh, I'm so, like, gushing for them and rooting for them, because I'm like, yay! Like, it's not because it's team interracial. It's just because, yay, they found love. And yes, they're an interracial couple, and yes, it's possible to be happy. Like, it's not, I don't think it really matters. Like, it really doesn't matter. But from the other side, whenever, like, the whole interracial thing comes up, especially the harsh parts pertaining more to her dad and them asking questions like, if you've ever been in a room full of Black people, that's, like, cringeworthy. But I do get it, because I feel like, I guess if it's important to some people and it's important to your family, that's probably a good question to ask if you know who you are and you know what you're about. some people may not be as comfortable being in a room full of black people, and then that could pose as a threat later on in your relationship when you need to go to family functions and they're like, oh, I don't feel comfortable going because there's a whole bunch of black people and I don't want to go. Yeah, that could definitely pose as a threat, and you don't want to set yourself up. So perhaps it's a really good question. Perhaps it's a really good question coming from like a family that actually cares about that kind of stuff. I just wanted to touch base on the topic and share my opinions and my thoughts. And clearly there's no like there's no specific answers to these questions. They're kind of like they're all on individual basis. And I would just love to hear your guys' take on the situation with those two, as well as your take on the show. I'm loving the show, and now I have to sit and wait for the finale because I watched it all while braiding my hair, and now I am now I gotta wait for like 5 days to see if these couples actually really say I do. But I'm definitely rooting for Lauren and Cameron because they seem loving, they seem genuine, and your girl, I feel like she needs love, and why not take it where you get it? Like, he seems like such a genuine guy, and he seems to be there for her for all the right reasons. And he has been in an interracial. His previous long-term relationship of 5 years was with a black woman, so I mean, now she gets that too. He's been in an interracial relationship before, so it's not like foreign to him, and he's not used to it. The irony is they met behind a screen, and it just so happens that he just met with another black woman. To me, I would think that's a positive for her because she's not like, he has experience in this area as well. But I honestly, from my perspective, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, if he's gonna go out of his way to be with you and he loves you and he genuinely loves you, the rest should be able to work itself out. But I guess it's simple. It just really goes to show you that there are important questions that one has to ask, and if something is important to you, don't fail to ask it, because it could be the saving grace in your relationship. That way something doesn't pop up later on. A lot of these things that people bring up around interracial relationships really don't matter. And I don't know if they really should, but then again, I don't live in America, so I don't necessarily understand all that everyone fights for when they are together. But there are also couples out there that are just like, we love each other, and that's what they're going off of, and it's just a vibe. They're not gonna walk around trying to predict everything as before it happens. I feel like when you're in a relationship with someone, you should genuinely know what they will tolerate from what they won't, and what they won't do, and yeah, go from there. In their situation, in Lauren's situation, it's a little different because she is speed dating. It's basically like speed dating. They literally got engaged after 3 days, and that's huge. Like, just being engaged that quickly is crazy. So yeah, in their situation, I guess you got to kind of knock everything out to try to get to know each other, because you don't have much time. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Just leave your comments, leave your take on the topic that I'm talking about. If you have anything, if you're watching the show, I'd love to hear your take on the show. There's a lot more that's going on that I could speak more candidly on, but I just wanted to touch on the interracial topic right now. If you guys have anything that you want to share, leave it down below, and as well as responding to what I had to say. So don't forget to give today's video a big like. Don't forget to share it on your platforms, as well as if you're new if you're new to my channel and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to your girl. And until next time, much love, guys.